I played one whole year of Stardew Valley East Scarp, Sword and Sorcery Edition. Hello everybody, this is GamerGar. Welcome back to a new 1 year Stardew Valley challenge. For the purposes of this challenge, we are going to play through one whole year of Stardew Valley, but we're going to use a new map expansion called East Scarp. We're also going to incorporate the Sword and Sorcery mod, which is basically an expansion of East Scarp. So you could say it's an expansion in an expansion. The Sword and Sorcery mod will take us on a magical adventure just like Dungeons and Dragons, where we will get to meet new NPCs, uncover their backstories, build up relationships with them, and learn new and powerful abilities. So let's jump straight into this fantastic magical adventure, and let's have some serious fun. Like and subscribe if you're new to the GamerGar channel. If you like Stardew Valley content, you are absolutely in the right place. It is day number 1 on our Four Corners farm. We start by planting our parsnips, cutting down a tree, making a chest, and then we are going to fly on over and visit all of the residents in East Scarp. I want to delve into this mod straight away and get acquainted with all of its quirky mechanics. The first NPC we meet is Beatrice. She is French and she also owns a lighthouse that we get to visit very shortly. We also meet Rosa, and she is from Josa and she owns the inn. We also meet Addon, who occasionally makes bouquets for Pierre. We visited the mountain region here. We came across an abandoned mine. It says stay out, stay alive, and leave before dark. Now I came back at dark time to see if I could enter the mine, but I couldn't. Unfortunately, bats did spawn and they took me out quite quickly as I had no weapon to defend myself. Not to worry, I was saved by the Scarp's own vet, Jacob. And his lovely daughter Eloise also comes to say hi as well, and we get to foster up a very good relationship with Jacob and Eloise. We also get to look at the lighthouse during nighttime and it looks absolutely amazing. There is a lot more of East Scarp to explore, but first let's make it into the second day alive. So we get the fishing rod off Willie on day number 2, and we are going to spend most of today fishing because we need to get some money. We need to make some progression. This is going to be a perfection run, so we do need to capture all the fish. That includes all the fish over in East Scarp as well. We get a lot of fishing skills today, level 4 fishing, which is really nice. We will be attempting a very early legend catch, just so we can get some nice money from the legend row every couple of days. On day 3 it's raining, so we're going to get some catfish. We're also going to pick up the fiberglass rod as well, because we can attach bait to that, and it just means more fish for us, more profit. Level 5 fishing, we'll take Fisher, fish worth 25% more. We come across a very strange NPC here known as B, and he expected a much more fearful reaction from us, and we learn a lot more about B as the story progresses. A very interesting character indeed. We're now going to visit Pierre, and we're going to purchase one of every single crop Pierre has because, yes, we are going the community centre route. The rest of the day is spent fishing. On day number 5, we start by harvesting all of our lovely parsnips. Once all of our parsnips have been harvested, we're going to water up the crops and then we're going to pay Pierre a visit. We have enough gold to get the first backpack upgrade. We're now going to enter the mines, and we get a new cutscene here, and this is because of the Sword and Sorcery mod. The Sword and Sorcery mod is broken up into chapters, and if we want to progress through the chapters, we have to build up relationships with a lot of the key NPCs surrounding those chapters. Chapter 1 is all about Mateo. Mateo has an absolutely incredible backstory and very good character progression. He's one of my new favourite NPCs, and you'll see why as we progress through East Scarp and through Sword and Sorcery. Mateo also loves adventuring, and we learn a lot more about Mateo over the next couple of in-game weeks as we build up their relationship. Now Mateo loves crab cakes, and I did have to go to the wiki because in order to get the most out of the Sword and Sorcery mod, I wanted to find out the fastest way to progress through the chapters to make this video fun. So we will try our best to get as many crab cakes as possible for Mateo to get those relationship points up. Now we did some fair's good progression today in the mines. We even picked up a wood club here. We also got an ancient seed. That's not bad for day number 5, and that's going to give us very early access to ancient fruits. The next day we're going to pop into Gunther, give him the ancient seed. This will allow us to put lovely ancient seeds on our farm, which will turn into ancient fruits. Now for the rest of the day, we're just going to do some mining. We're going to try to get down as quickly as possible. An early monster compendium is always welcome. Monsters have a chance to drop double loot. We make it into the floor 40s. We run out of energy, so we had a few bombs to make a little bit more progression, get a few more ores. The travelling cart arrived on Sunday. And we purchased a crab cake because Mateo loves those. We're also focusing down help wanted quests to get as many prize tickets as possible so we can get those star drop teas. We're now going to visit Clint and we are going to upgrade our pickaxe to a copper pickaxe to make smoother progression in the mines. We came across Mateo here, we give him a crab cake and he says, I hate crabs, they trek sand everywhere and they're a menace to East Scarp. And I got worried there for a sec, but then he says, the only thing they're good for is being served up just like this, thanks GamerGar. So Mateo has a bit of a funny humour, if you like, you know, but I do like that kind of humour, I do like Mateo very much. We're going to visit the community centre and we are going to start by completing the spring foraging bundle. The reward for this will be 30 spring wild seeds that we're going to put on the farm. We're going to go back into the mines today and try our best to get down as quickly as possible. Because this is a perfection run, you're not going to see huge amounts of money making strategies. This is more of a balanced run, so a lot of help wanted quests, a lot of, you know, giving NPCs gifts on their birthdays. We want to get up as many relationships as possible, especially all of the East Scarp NPCs, because I want to see what the mod truly has to offer. Now we are going to focus down Caroline for the start of spring. I want to get her to 2 hearts. I want to try the tea saplings again. They still are profitable, not as potent as they used to be, but they can still make a pretty penny or two. Now because today was raining, I went up and put up a few eels because we need those for the community centre. We also needed an eel, of course, for the fishing collection. The next day we're going to pick up all these carrots. We are not going to sell the carrots, they're absolutely amazing. For energy, we get our copper pickaxe off Clint. We're now going to hand in the regular axe and upgrade that to a copper axe so we can get access to early hardwood. We made it down to floor 50 and 60, so we pick up some tundra booties and we also get the crystal dagger. The next day we have a lot of kale here that we get to harvest up. What I'm really trying to get is a very early level 6 farming so I can make some quality sprinklers and more or less just leave the farm take care of itself after that. We also put up some potatoes as well because we are going to go for an early legend. That means making a very early dish of the sea. We need potatoes for that. We make it down to floor 80, we get the firewalker boots, plus 3 defense, plus 3 immunity, very nice. Level 5 mining, we'll always take miner for now, plus 1 ore per vein. We make 8700 gold today, primarily from selling kale. And because we've made so much money, Demetrius will now visit our farm. He'll give us a choice between the mushroom and the bat cave. I'm going to select the bat cave for now because there's always a chance the bats can find pomegranates and apples, and it just saves out of money from buying those tree saplings. I'm also getting foraging XP and farming XP from harvesting all these lovely forageables. I'm now going to purchase a ton of potatoes. Normally I get kale, but I just want to try the potatoes because there's a chance when you put up a potato, you can put up a second one, and that means more money. Now it does take the good majority of today watering these up, but it's going to pay off when all that money pours in, and all of the farming XP we're going to get for doing this as well. The next day starts with watering. It does take up a good majority of the day, but trust me, it's going to be worth it. The sooner we can get quality sprinklers, the better. We do make it down to floor 90 today. We pick up the obsidian edge. This is a huge upgrade now from the bone sword. It hits much harder. With the obsidian edge, we'll be able to go all the way to the skull caverns. We actually almost made it to floor 100, but on floor 99, 2 o'clock came around and our character passed out. Level 3 foraging, we can now make the cookout kit, and level 5 combat, we're going to take fighter. All attacks do 10% more damage. So we destroyed the kids at the Easter event here. We get our lovely straw hat. Thank you very much. The reason why I do this event is because if we do it during year 2, we get a prize ticket. Before we head to bed though, we headed down to the tide pools, we fixed up the bridge, collected all of the forageables. We also went into the community centre. It was time to finish off the spring crops bundle. As a reward, we get 20 speed grows. We put those to good use. I also picked up the iridium rod off Willy here, and I also picked up a trap bobber. We have level 7 fishing. I also ate a dish of the sea. I was able to make that using the cookout kit, and we managed to put up the legend. It was very difficult to get this, but an early legend means early legendary roll. We will get Robin to make a fish pond for that, and it's going to be great money throughout the rest of the game. So we now have a farm filled up with lots of spring wild seeds. I also had the seaweed and the green algae needed to make the fish pond, so Robin's going to have that made in a couple of days. Floor 100 in the mines, we get rewarded with our very first star drop of the challenge. We're now venturing forth and broke open all these crates. I'm getting some really good resources such as hardwood and rubies. We get a skill up in foraging, and we also get level 5 farming. We're going to go with tiller. Crops were 10% more. We get the tea sapling recipe off Caroline, so we can now make tea saplings. We're now going to finish out the boiler room here, and this is going to give us fast travel all over Stardew Valley, including fast travel to East Scarp. We're now making our way down to floor 110, where we're going to pick up the magnificent space boots, but first we get an immunity band. That gives a huge increase to immunity. The space boots are also very nice. They're one of the best boots in the game, especially before you get to Ginger Island. With the travelling carts complete, it's now a lot easier to get around the valley. Robin has the fish pond made. We put the legend inside. Hopefully the next day we'll start getting some raw off that. I paid a visit to the lighthouse here because it was Beatrice's birthday. Now she loves potatoes, so I'm going to give her the potato today. That's a lot of friendship points with Beatrice. She earned 10 hearts. What's great about the mine carts is that we can go to the Scarp crossing with the first one. We can then take a second batch of mine carts to travel all over East Scarp. You have the Underscarp, the mountains, you have East Scarp itself. Lots of places we can go. Now there's an area here in East Scarp called the East Scarp Tide Pools, and the tide pools are home to very unique fish. What we just put up here was the ornate nudie branch, and there's different types of nudie branches depending on what season you're in. I also found a cave that was just off the East Scarp beach. Inside was a lot of doors I couldn't actually open. There was also a room there in the centre of the cave with a book. I couldn't actually get to that right now, so I'm hoping I can get to it later. I was very curious as to what it might be. For now, we'll just push ahead. We finally got level 6 farming, so we can now make quality sprinklers. We made 35,000 gold today, primarily from selling potatoes. So we are smelting up ores into bars. We got some gold bars today. We need a gold bar, an iron bar, and a refined quartz to make a quality sprinkler. We got 2 pieces of legend raw. Now, we could sell those right now to make huge money, or we can make some preserve jars, and we can make even greater profits. Once we get level 10 farming and we get artisan, we'll make even more money from those lovely legend raws. So we're now putting down more spring wild seeds. We're also going to go to Maru, just to hand in some more help wanted quests. Maru was looking for a frozen tear, easy enough to get. We're now going to purchase over 450 kale. The quality sprinklers will absorb most of those. We'll only have to water a handful. I got a diamond today, which is really nice. Made it down to 120, picked up the skull key. All we need now is enough money to fix up the bus, and then we can start doing some skull cavern runs. Because of all the help wanted quests we've been doing, we can now get access to mystery boxes, which is really nice. You can get some amazing things from mystery boxes. We are now in the process of making more quality sprinklers. A lot more gold bars are needed. We're going to go to Clint. This time we're going to upgrade our pickaxe to a steel pickaxe. That's the minimum requirement for a skull cavern run. Now we also need to think about mastery, and our fishing skill still isn't maxed out. So because today was raining, I said, you know what, let's do a little bit more fishing today. I also went over to East Scarp to see what types of fish I can get over here on rainy days. I found this cool looking structure. It was a big tower with mushrooms and trees growing out of it. We learned a lot more about that structure later on in the video. I also found another cave, and I tried to enter it. It said a strange and unpleasant smell wafts out from the depths. A mixture of shadows, smoke, and something deep or something darker. You decide it's best not to enter right now. So, the thing about East Scarp is it doesn't give you free roam over all its locations from day one. We will have to do a lot of game progression to get into those places, but we do get into most of them throughout this challenge. More prize tickets today, and it was Shane's birthday. We're going to give Shane a beer. Nice, easy friendship points with him. We're now going to donate some items here to the museum. See, we need to think about Krobus as well. We need to get down into Krobus. We need to get the useful items Krobus has. We're now going to get Clint to break open more geodes, and vice versa. Any sort of artifact or mineral we get, we'll donate it into Gunther. So today we're going down to the beach. We're going to the tide pools. It was Saturday. It's the best day to come down here to get all of these lovely forageables. I also picked up a new book of power, including a second ancient seed, the Jewels of the Sea. Fishing treasure chests have a chance to yield raw, and you're always going to get raw based on the fish you pull up there. We got level 5 foraging at the end of the day, which was nice. We're going to take Gatherer, chance for the double harvest of forageable goods. We have run out of crab cakes, so we're giving Mateo the second best thing, which are clams, and we can get lots of clams down by the beach. So we're trying to push up Mateo's friendship points as quickly as possible, so we can unlock those very important cutscenes. We get a steel pickaxe off Clint, which is very nice indeed. We're not finished yet though. We're going to now hand in our copper axe and upgrade that to a steel as well. I'm going to sell some of my aged raw over to Pierre, and we are going to get a backpack upgrade. It's best to get this sooner rather than later, just to get all of the inventory slots unlocked. I managed to get a diamond from a dust sprite today, which was absolutely amazing. The reason why I came down here into the midsection was to get lots of iron ores to make sprinklers, but also to make bombs. You need iron ores and coal to make bombs, and I wanted to stock up now and get ready for the good Skull Cavern run. Rubies and diamonds will come in very handy when it comes to spicy eels and triple shot espressos. I had 2 help wanted quests, one from Barnie, which was a ruby that she wanted, and another one from Linus, he wanted an emerald. And because I was going into the mines so much, I had a good few rubies and emeralds lying around the place. I also visited Eloise today because it was her birthday, and she actually loves daffodils, which was very handy because we were in spring. I did more exploration around East Scarp, and I managed to pull up a new fish today, known as a Kokanee salmon. And this is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to fish in East Scarp. There's a lot of fish that we have to find. I also came across a location here called the Cherry Orchard, and sometimes the bridge is fixed, other times it's not. I think it depends on the time of day. But look at all these cherries that I get to collect, and I'm going to sell all of those for a really nice profit. I also managed to pull up a very difficult fish here called the Obsidian Maw, and this thing is worth a lot of gold. I also got some artifacts I can hand into Gunther along with 2 rubies. It was a good day today. That Obsidian Maw is worth 421 gold. If we smoke that up, we can make some serious profits off those. So we're going to visit Clint, get our steel axe. We now have a steel pickaxe and a steel axe. We're going to hand in another 2 nodes upgrade. We're going to hand in the hoe. That's going to come in handy especially for summer. Because we now have steel tools, we're going to go get this golden trash can inside a new book of power, the alleyway buffet. This increases the odds of us getting items every time we open up trash cans. We can now clear away all of the debris on our 4 corners farm, and it just makes assessing these little corner areas a little bit easier. I'm also going to pickaxe up all of these regular nodes. Hopefully better nodes will spawn. It was time for the flower dance event, and I wanted to know what all of the new East Scarp NPCs thought of it. I also purchased a rare crow and a tub of flowers recipe off of Pierre. The only NPC I could dance with right now was Shane. Shane's always an easy choice because it's his birthday in spring and he just loves beer, so it's very easy to get friendship points up with Shane as long as you have the money to afford beer all the time. A day that allows you to harvest Legend Row is always going to be a good day. It's just because of the sheer amount of profit you make from it. We're also going to harvest a lot of kale today, and we are going to get tons of money from this. We're going to get so much money from this kale that we will be able to open up the desert no problems at all, and we can start doing Skull Cavern runs. We're also going to get tons of farming XP. Another help wanted quest, but this time it's from Matteo. He's looking for a potato. We will oblige straight away. We're going to sell all of the kale here to Pierre. We're up at 64,000 gold. We're going to visit Clint here now. We're going to get our copper hoe back off Clint. Then that's going to go straight back into Clint for the steel hoe. And then we're going to go to the community centre and we are going to purchase all of the vault bundles. Now, not only will this give us access to the Skull Caverns, it's also going to give us a crystallarium. It's going to give us a few other goodies as well. And the Junimos are super happy, and we will be too, once we're farming some iridium ores. The Sword and Sorcery mod adds some new combat mechanics, including the use of an offhand item. What we're going to make here is a simple shield. Now, we can actually put the shield into our offhand, and if we press right click, just like Captain America, we'll fling our shield forward, and that will damage enemies when it makes contact, which is really cool. The shield also gives us armor points, and it's basically similar to what our boots give, where the boots give defense rating, but the armor points aren't permanent. Every time we take damage, the armor points will go down, but they'll refresh every time we go to sleep and wake up for the new day. So we just entered the secret woods here. We get lots of morals. We're going to get rid of all these stumps to get hardwood, and we're also going to pull up the wood skip, which is also needed for the fishing bundle. It was now time for a heart-to-heart with Matteo. When Matteo was a kid, he spent a lot of his time in the library behind the counter, and he also spent a lot of time at the beach as well. Sometimes Matteo wants to recreate certain events from the past, and he asks us a couple of questions about it. The Sword and Sorcery mod has an absolute ton of relationship events just like this. Now, I couldn't leave all of them in. If I did, this video would be 4 or 5 hours in length, but I do try my best to leave in the most critical events, so we can see the character progression, we can see what these characters had to go through in order to feel accepted. Before we went to bed, I decided to take a nice stroll down the Cindersap Forest, and we picked up a fish here called the goby, and that's needed for perfection as well. And here's a cute little cutscene of the Junimos fixing up the bus, which will now give us access to the desert and also Skull Cavern. Now, before we go flying down to the desert with our bombs and our steel pickaxe, we need to sort out the farm first. We're going to pick up all of these lovely spring forageables. We're going to make as many tea saplings as possible. We made 112. If this was pre-patch 1.6, we would have got well over 55,000 gold right there for that. Now, the travelling cart has some items we can use to speed up some of the community centre progression. We're going to get the nautilus shell, the duck egg, the poppy. We're also going to get as many rare seeds as possible. We also spoke to Matteo today, and he's happy that the bus is fixed up. Let's have a look at our social circles. We have Matteo on 3 hearts at the moment, but we've also given Matteo 2 gifts this week. So hopefully we can get more cutscenes from Matteo as the game progresses. We're now going to purchase some warp totems in the desert, spicy eels and triple shot espressos. We're going to do some fishing in the desert as well, and we just put up a sandfish there. I went back with my lovely obsidian edge to the mountain area here, and I tried to fight these bats because I really wanted to fish in this lake at night time, but unfortunately the bats just wouldn't give me a chance. I went back to Gus, purchased some salads. We made over 43,000 gold today, primarily from selling tea saplings. Today was going to be a skull cavern run, and it was a really good day. Now, we don't get super lucky, we don't get any lucky rings or things like that. We do get a peach sapling though, and we do get some bits and pieces of iridium ores and things like that, not to mention the very rewarding prismatic shard. We will always trade in the first one for the galaxy sword. We're also getting lots of mining XP and combat XP down here as well, which is very important. So we come out with over 100 pieces of iridium ore, 3 prismatic shards, and we even got some strange dolls, which can be quite rare. We're going to go back to Clint now. We're going to get our steel hoe off Clint, which is nice. We're going to get Clint to process all of the geodes we have accumulated so far, and all of the minerals and artifacts we get from these will be traded into Gunther. We're going to get our red cabbage seed today off the travelling cart. That is needed. That is one of the most important items needed for the community centre bundles, of course, because you can't buy that from Pierre, so you have to get that from the travelling cart. To ensure that we meet all community centre goals within the first year, I'm going to go ahead now and purchase a coop off Robin, and we can fill that up with all different manner of coop animals. Then going to go to the desert and trade in our very first prismatic shard for a galaxy sword. This is going to be a huge increase now in our survivability when it comes to going into the mines or doing skull cavern runs. The rest of the day is spent at the regular mines doing a help wanted quest slaying lava crabs. The next day we get a letter for 10,000 gold off Mr. Key for making it past floor 30 in the skull caverns, which was very nice of him. We're then going to collect some iridium bars, and we're then going to visit Sandy. Now it is the 1st of summer, so we are going to use all of our hard-earned cash and purchase over 180 starfruit seeds. We're then going to make a copper shield, followed by an iron shield, followed by a gold shield. We had the mats, so I said why not? The more armor points I can get now, the better. Also, the shield does more damage when you throw it at enemies. We're going to visit Clint. We are going to sell some iridium bars, diamonds, rubies, emeralds, get our gold up to 15,000. We needed this to go to Pierre, you see, and purchase crops off him. We also get our very first star drop tea, and we're going to use that wisely. We're going to give Matteo a crab cake we got from the skull caverns. We're also going to go to Pierre now, and we're going to purchase a lot of melon seeds and one of every other crop to ensure we don't miss any important community centre bundles. It's now time for the Matteo backstory. So Matteo firstly apologises for being so avoidant, but then says Gunther may have mentioned there was a curator prior to him, and I'm sure the townsfolk have mentioned it by now. His name was Wyatt. Matteo and Wyatt are responsible for the museum being empty when we first got to Stardew Valley. Matteo was Wyatt's mentee, so Matteo had a lot of trust and respect for Wyatt, but one night in the middle of summer, Wyatt and Matteo packed up all of the minerals and artifacts that were inside the library and shipped them off to Georgia for a lifetime of creature comforts. Now at that moment in time, Matteo was confused. He didn't understand what was going on fully, and to this day Matteo regrets their actions for actually helping Wyatt steal all of those valuable resources and minerals. So Matteo now spends every waking moment primarily in the mines, trying to keep Stardew Valley safer by going down and eradicating as many monsters as possible. Matteo also spends a lot of time going to the mines to find artifacts so that they can give back to Gunther what was lost in the first place. Matteo will also now attend festivals, which is really nice, and that's just a tip of the iceberg there when it comes to Matteo's character development. What you're going to see going forward are some really heartfelt cutscenes and some absolutely amazing character development, not just for Matteo, but all of the other Sword and Sorcery characters. It is now time to get back to the perfection grind. We're going to get some trout soup here, and and we are going to try to put up another legendary fish. This one is called the Crimson Fish. Not as difficult as the legend, but still, you need to have your wits about you. We're then going to pick up a huge array of summerfish needed for the fishing collection. We also need a few summerfish as well for the community centre bundles. That night we picked up a few super cucumbers also, and they're quite profitable. Another help wanted quest, this time from Beatrice. She was looking for the purple mushroom, 750 gold. Very nice indeed. Off to the mines we go. We picked up a diamond today. It's always nice picking up a diamond, even if it's a Skull Cavern run. They give so much XP. We got the purple mushroom, wiped out some squid kids, which was part of another help wanted quest. And then we went down and had a chat with the wizard. So we spoke to him about the squid kids. He was very happy about that. We gave him a void essence as well because the wizard loves those. And then we went to Beatrice, we gave her the purple mushroom, and that got us a prize ticket plus more friendship points with Beatrice. We then spoke to Matteo. He gave us a golden relic that he found down in the mines. That was very nice indeed. We could donate that to Gunther. Then we went up to the Bathhouse area and we hauled up a new book of power called Jack Be Nimble, Jack Be Thick. This gives us a permanent increase to our defense by 1. It was then time to complete the Summer Forageable bundle. Got back some Summer Forageable seeds there. And we also completed the Exotic Foraging bundle. Thanks to having access to the desert, we were able to get the cactus and the coconut. The Autumn's Bounty will come in handy. It's now time to get a brown chicken to the farm, and we're going to call the brown chicken after one of our channel members, Ace Roller. We are also going to get a white chicken, and this will be called Elizabeth Lynch. Big shout out there to the GamerGar channel members. We get a very important cutscene here between Gunther, Marlin and Matteo, and basically Gunther and Marlin approached Matteo in the mines to find out what was going on, why Matteo was being so violent, and Matteo said that they wanted to right the wrongs that were made before talking to Gunther. And Gunther and Marlin just said that they just want to make sure Matteo's alright, and that they forgive Matteo for what happened. So we all decided to go to the saloon, have a couple of pints. It was also a great opportunity for Matteo to fully explain to Marlin and Gunther what happened between Matteo and Wyatt. And basically, Matteo has nothing to do with Wyatt anymore, because when Wyatt got all that money off Joja, Wyatt abandoned Matteo. But that is enough of the heartfelt negative backstory. What you're going to see now is some amazing character progression with Matteo, and we're also going to get some really cool feature unlocks as well over the next couple of days and in-game weeks. So we're now going to go back to Cindersap Forest and we are cutting down trees. We picked up a skill book here to increase our farming level. That was very nice indeed. The reason why we need so much wood is because we need to start making kegs for starfruit wine. And once we start making starfruit wine, money's going to be a thing of the past. Level 10 farming, we're going to get artisan. We also get a cool recipe here off Matteo called the autumnal stew. It's just one more thing we have to make for perfection, unfortunately. It's time to sort out the crab pot bundle. As a reward, we are going to get 3 crab pots that will be put to good use. We now have enough resources to finish out the construction bundle as well. We also had the hardwood requirement, which was nice. We get a charcoal kiln back on that. We are now processing copper ores into copper bars because we need to make tappers for oak resins and other bits and bobs so we can make some kegs. Our bat cave is almost filled up to the top with a variety of forageables that we get to pick up. We're now going to bang out over 20 tappers and we are going to tap all of the trees just to the left of our house there. Now all of these trees are just going to generate oak resins. We're going to get pine tars and we're also going to get maple syrups as well, just to ensure that we have everything needed to make a huge variety of items, because it is after all a perfection playthrough. We're now going to go to Robin and we are going to build a silo. It just means on the rainy days we're covered. The next day was a green rain day. Now we're going to get lots of coffee beans today, which is nice, so we're going to save up all those coffees. Eventually they'll be turned into triple shot espressos. We also get some legend roe, and we are going to spend the whole day trying to get as much foraging XP as possible. And this event is probably the best event in the game when it comes to getting moss, foraging XP and other bits and bobs. We can also cut down these big fiddlehead trees to get fiddlehead ferns, and if we get really lucky, one of the mystery seeds will turn into a fiddlehead fern tree that we can tap for fiddlehead ferns. So we just got another prize ticket off the mayor there. He wanted the Joja Cola of all things. We then went to Pierre and we are going to purchase a ton of wheat. The main reason for wheat is just a placeholder so I don't have to re-hold the ground. It was Gus's birthday today, so we gave Gus a diamond. Currently there is a huge focus on birthdays and help wanted quests, just for the sake of relationship points in game completion. We then get a cool cutscene with Marlin here, and he is going to swear Matteo back into the Adventurers Guild so that Matteo can now get some really good money for all of the really good monster eradication goals that they do on a daily basis. So it is onwards and upwards. We also have some crab cakes in our inventory, and we're going to hand one over to Matteo. We now have Matteo on 6 out of 10 hearts, so we are getting there, but the sooner we can get him up to 10, the sooner we can move on over to chapter 2 and meet some more very interesting NPCs. We fished up a Dorado today. It's quite a rare fish to get. We also pulled up the sturgeon too. That's needed for the community center bundle. Speaking of, let's go into the community center right now, and we're going to complete some more bundles. That's the lake fish bundle, done and dusted. As a reward, we get a dress spinner. We're going to sell that, of course. We're going to go down to floor 20 here and fish up a stonefish. I did try for an ice pip, but it just wasn't happening that day. We didn't try for the octopus. This is such a hard fish to get. It really should be a legendary fish. We managed to get it. Hopefully that's the first and last octopus I see on this run. And then I'm going to go to Maru. It was her birthday. Give her the miner's treat. We have Maru now on 4 out of 8 hearts. It's off to Robin then, and we're going to get Robin to make us another structure. This time we're going to go for the barn, and eventually we will have, you know, the top tier coop and the top tier barn. We're now going to pull up another fish. This is the Sea Bunny nudie branch. Because we're in a new season, we get a new special nudie branch from the East Scarp tide pools. I managed to head up here to the dangerous bat area, and we pulled up a slime barbel. That was a new fish I didn't come across before, so that was nice to get it. It was in time for the luau. I had a gold star sturgeon for this, so we're going to throw that in, and that gives us the best results then for the mayor. We also meet the mayor's wife. Her name is Josephine, and that is not the last of Josephine we're going to see in this challenge. Oh no. So that is the achievement and unforgettable soup. Not only do we get a lot of friendship points with the regular Stardew Valley NPCs, but a lot of the East Scarp NPCs would benefit from the luau as well. So I made some lightning rods, and I'm going to purchase one of each sapling from Pierre just to ensure we don't come into any issues with the community center bundles. We're now going to talk to Marcelo, and we are going to purchase the Way of the Wind Part 1 for 15,000 gold. This is going to give us an also slight increase to our movement speed, and movement speed is very important. The faster our character, the more we can get done. Because we had a rainy day in summer, we're going to go for the red snapper. We needed that for the community center bundle, so it was nice to get that out of the way. We can now go to the ocean fish bundle, put in the red snapper, and that is one less bundle to worry about. As a result, we get some warp totems to the beach. They actually come in very handy. We're going to get Clint to break open some geodes, then we're going to go to Gunther, and we are going to turn in a lot more minerals and artifacts in the hopes to get the key to the sewers so we can meet the lovable Krobus. So we got very lucky today. We got a rusty cog, and we even got a Nautilus fossil. Finally, level 10 fishing. We're going to go with Pirate. It just increases our odds of getting the fishing treasure chests. Finally, Gunther visits the farm. He gives us the rusty key. We can now go down, talk to Krobus, and get all of the lovely goods that Krobus has on offer, including a very valuable star drop. If we want to get perfection, we will have to unlock all of the star drops the game has to offer. So we just visited the clinic here, and we came across Matteo all scarred up, beaten, broken, in very bad condition altogether. And Matteo says, "GamerGar, just the person I wanted to see." And what happened was that Matteo ran into the shadow folk. And Matteo basically said that they're not monsters, they're sentient, they have feelings. It was his own fault for stumbling across their territory, and all the shadow folk were doing were just defending themselves. It will take a few days for Matteo to recover so we can speak to them again. In the meantime, we're going to go to Robin, and we are going to upgrade our barn to a big barn, and that means we can just get a bigger variety of animals. So there was a cave beside Matteo's tent over in East Scarp. Inside this cave was a new NPC by the name of Lexi. I said, "I'm here to be your friend, Lexi." Who wants to be friends with sea monsters? I do, of course, and if I can marry Lexi and have sea monster babies, we will absolutely do that as well. Now, Lexi loves a good melon. Fortunately, we have tons of melons grown on the farm, so I do save up a good stockpile of gold star melons, and I do give them to Lexi occasionally just to get the relationship points up. Lexi lives in a pretty cool cave here, and I'm hoping when the relationship points go up even more, Lexi will open up to us and we might get a really cool backstory there as well. In the meantime, it is time to collect all of his coffee. It is also time to collect our first big batch of starfruit, and most of this starfruit will be sold. The next batch will be converted into starfruit wine. We also take out our trusty scythe and we get to collect lots of hay. It's also really good for the silo too. We get lots of eggs too from our chickens. And now we are going to use all of our hard-earned cash to purchase even more starfruit seeds. 514 in total. Now all of these starfruit will be converted into starfruit wine. So we're going to have basically over 500 starfruit wine at least in the first year of this challenge. The speciality fish bundle has been completed. As a reward, we get Dish of the Seas. It's always nice to have a few of those hanging around. We also completed the field research bundle by bringing in a geode there as well. And the summer crops bundle has also been completed. It's now time to do some more fishing. Now, what's great about East Scarp is that sometimes it gives you fish that are out of season, such as the salmon there. You can only get that in fall. But more importantly, we picked up a new fish, the golden trout. We didn't have that one before, so it was exciting to pull that out of the water. We then spoke to Rosa, who owns the inn over in East Scarp. She's trying to make a famous family recipe known as the spanakopita. So she gives us a sample and we have to try it out and give her a very honest review. I said, I get that, I feel like I can't live up to my grandfather too. So that's just me saying it wasn't great in a nice way because I don't want to hurt Rosa's feelings. And I thought there were the three options, it was the most positive option there that I could select. I then spoke to Lexi and Lexi basically said that they're trying to do some gardening, they're trying to do some farming, but the plants keep dying. Eventually we explained to Lexi that if you put plants indoors, if they don't get sunlight, they're not going to last very long. I then went back up to the lake area here at night time to fight all these bats, and I figured if I killed them all I could fish in peace. Unfortunately no, the bats respawn forever. A new NPC here called the Emperor. Now this is actually a magical bird, it does speak English, which is pretty cool. It was Sam's birthday, so I purchased the pizza and I gave that to Sam for some bonus friendship points right there. We do have to get relationship points up with all of the Stardew Valley NPCs after all. We're then back down in the regular mines, and what we're looking for here are just tons of copper ores. We need copper for so many things, including kegs. It also doesn't hurt slaying monsters for the monster eradication goals. It's never too early to start focusing down on monster eradication goals, of course. The next day, we get to harvest a lot of battery packs. These are going to come in so handy for iridium quality sprinklers and crystallariums. Time for more GamerGar channel member shoutouts. Dub Garcia is going to be a goat. Pink Blossom's going to be a sheep, and Stacey Schmidt's going to be a brown cow. Big shout out there, and if you want to become a GamerGar channel member, membership's quite cheap, and all GamerGar channel members get shoutouts like this in many of the big Stardew Valley challenges. We're now going to check out the travelling cart. Travelling cart had some pretty good items today, had some crab cakes. We're going to get those straight away from Mateo. We're going to pick up the rare seed as well. And because we had more money, I decided to go back to Marty and get even more animals. This time, we are going to go ahead and we are going to purchase a pig because we needed the truffle. And Hanlo is going to be our Stardew Valley pig for this challenge. Big shout out there to the GamerGar channel member Hanlo. Another help wanted quest there from Linus. It was Demetrius' birthday today, so he gets an ice cream. Demetrius loves ice creams. The rest of the day is spent cutting down trees just to get more wood for cakes. We now spoke to Mateo again, and this time Krobus was here. But basically, Mateo is trying to make friends with Krobus and explain to Krobus that Mateo doesn't have any harsh feelings towards the Shadow Folk. Mateo just wants to live in peace, and Mateo wants to understand the Shadow Folk. Mateo wants to bridge the gap of friendship between Shadow Folk and humans. And that's why it was so important to get down into the sewers to get this cutscene to activate, otherwise we wouldn't have got this cutscene to play. So when it comes to completing the chapters in Sword and Sorcery, it is important to get up as many relationship points as we can, with not just the East Scarp characters, but a lot of the vanilla Stardew Valley characters also. So it was just cutting down trees for the rest of the day. We get level 10 foraging, we're going to go with Botanist. We get a cool cutscene here with Rosa. She was hiding up in a tree because this goat came down from the mountains. I decided to take Jacob's advice, and I decided to use an apple instead of my sword. I tried to lure the goat back up to the mountains so it wasn't bothering anyone. Now, if you have East Scarp yourself, you've noticed that there's lots of goats up in the East Scarp mountains, and a lot of these goats have names, and we learn some of the names later on as we progress through East Scarp and as we, accumulate more relationship points with a lot of the East Scarp NPCs. Here's just an overshadow of another East Scarp NPC that we get to meet very soon. He was just up on the hill there. So the Emperor is now speaking English. Excuse me, sir, have you got any grapes? So basically, the Emperor loves grapes. We will oblige, of course. It was Aiden's birthday. Gave her the prismatic shards. She was absolutely delighted with that. We're then going to go to Robin, and we are going to upgrade our coop now to a big coop. And that means we can now get ducks and other bits and bobs, which is nice. We're now going to talk to the dwarf. We're going to pick up the dwarvish safety manual. It just means that when we're using bombs down in Skull Caverns, we're not going to take, you know, the full damage of bombs. We're also going to pick up the rare crow as well, and we'll pick up the recipe for perfection. So that's one more book of power now in the bag for us. So what we're focusing on today is combat XP. I want to max out combat. I really want to get down into the mastery trees. I spoke with Matteo today. I was rewarded with an ancient sword. We now have Matteo on 8 out of 10 hearts, so we're really getting there with the cutscenes. Unfortunately, you can't spam the cutscenes in East Scarp. You have to wait at least 2 days, and you have to have the friendship requirements for the next cutscene to activate. So this is the main reason why we're probably not going to get through the 4 chapters in Year 1. We now get a very important cutscene here of Matteo wanting to build an adventurers guild down in East Scarp, but we need to get some resources to do that. We need 100 pieces of hardwood, 300 stone and 500 wood. Not too shabby. We just have to donate all of these items into Robin here. We do that straight away. Once that adventurers guild opens up, it will basically unlock a second community quest board that we can work off, and it really adds a lot of content to the game. So we just got some goat milk today. We have to turn that into a goat's cheese to give that to Rosa. Once that quest is complete, we will get a lot more relationship points with Rosa. That means we're going to get a lot more recipes as well, which we need for perfection. Speaking of recipes, because we now have a lot of friendship points accumulated with Matteo, we got the Salish bourbon recipe, which was very nice of them. We're now going to talk to Willy, and it's Willy's birthday. He gets a catfish, we get lots of friendship points in return. We now get another really cool cutscene here, where a new guild has now been opened. This is called the Coastal Guild, and the guild master will of course be Matteo. And every week, Matteo will issue a quest for us to complete, and most of these quests will just be going into the mines or going over to Ginger Island or Skull Caverns and wiping out some monsters. Matteo also has a pet by the name of Emeritus, and Emeritus is basically a giant pepper Rex. So here we have a batch of quests we have from the Guildmaster. We can either slay 10 rock crabs or 20 dwarvish sentries. Now we can't do the sentries right now because we don't have access to Ginger Island, so we have to take on the rock crabs. But we do get nice money for it, and we do get a skill book. Now eventually those skill books will be replaced by something a lot more potent, but I won't ruin the surprise right now. Once the quest has been complete and the rock crabs have been felled, we get a combat quarterly along with 5,000 gold. We also get a very cool cutscene here from the mysterious NPC by the name of B that says GamerGar is meeting all my standards. I'm pleasantly surprised. Now it'll only be a matter of time before I can put my plan in motion. Is B friend or foe, I wonder? I won't have to deal with this pain for very much longer now, will I? So B seems to be in a lot of pain at the moment. Now we will learn a lot more about B as we progress through the challenge. Very interesting NPC indeed. But B also gives us, secretly, an ancient seed. So I'm pretty sure as of now we can more or less call B a friend instead of a foe. Let's go and talk to Barney. We're going to purchase an autograbber because I just don't want to share sheep or milk cows every day. I much prefer the autograbber. Do that for me. Well worth 25,000 gold in my opinion. We just give Rosa her cheese. We get back 500 gold. But we're also going to get a lot of relationship points for handing in that quest too. And we might get a good recipe out of it as well. We're doing a Skull Cavern run today. Now the only thing I'm really interested in now is just getting my combat XP up. If I make it down deep, fair enough. But we do get level 10 mining. We're going to go with blacksmith for now. Metal bars worth 50% more. We're going to give Robin a peach. Lots of friendship points there for Robin. We need to get Robin up to 6 hearts so we can learn the flute block and the drum block. That's needed for the Ginger Island quests. We're going to upgrade our coop to a deluxe coop, so that will allow us to get rabbits. Matteo has given us a rare disc today. I mean, Matteo is such an awesome NPC. We have Matteo on 8 out of 10 hearts at the moment. Because we got relationship points up with Addon, she will now teach us the secrets to make our very own bouquets. That's right, we don't have to buy bouquets off here anymore. If we have the desired mats, we can make them ourselves. So it's just a really cool feature there for East Scarp. Thanks very much, Addon. We learned how to craft the bouquet. We're now going to visit Marcelo as well. And because I have so much money, I'm going to purchase the Way of the Wind Part 2, permanently increasing my character's movement speed even further. Once we activated the Book of Power, it was time to head on down to East Scarp and talk to some of the NPCs. Emertius seems to be leading a happy life, eating crabs, taking naps, and getting affection from anyone who wanders by. We then spoke to Lexi. Now, Lexi says something very interesting here. once we give Lexi a few gifts. Lexi says, the crabs and the shells, they are my friends. Now, Emertius eats the crabs, so we have two different perspectives at play there, and that might lead to some very interesting relationship mechanics down the road. But for now, let's harvest all of this lovely coffee, and look at all this starfruit we get to pick up today. All of this starfruit will be converted into starfruit wine, and you're going to do some serious money then. A snow yam was available at the travelling cart there. We're going to pick it up straight away. I'm also going to grab the rabbit's foot because it's a universal loved gift. It might not have a silver or a gold star, but it's still a loved gift and we're going to take it. We picked up the rare seed and we're going to make a lot more cakes today. Now, I don't have a shed put down yet, so I'm just going to kind of put these cakes all over the farm. It is now time to enjoy the Moonlight Jellies event. I spoke to Addon and she doesn't want to get too close to the jellies because she says they're highly poisonous. That's fair enough. I also spoke to Rosa and she says jellies are pretty amazing. If they have no brains, how do they remember the route? And with that, summer is now complete. Fall is among us, and fall's going to be quite interesting. We're also going to be going into chapter 2 of the Sword Sorcery as well. We get to meet a new NPC. Very interesting NPC, probably one of my favourite NPCs in the game so far. So because it's fall, all of our wheat is safe. We don't have to re-hoe the ground. We're going to take another Guildmaster quest here. We're going to try to slay 10 lava crabs. And it just means more XP for us. We almost have combat maxed out, so that combat quarterly will go a long way. Thanks to the efforts of our lovely Hanlow Pig, we get our first truffle today. We can turn that into truffle oil also, which is needed for the community centre bundle. We're now going to pet up all of our chickens and animals, and then we are going to convert all of this lovely starfruit into starfruit wine. Let's take a look at the special orders quests. We've got Rock Rejuvenation and Fragments of the Past. We're going to go with Fragments of the Past. That will give us a bone mill, which is a very handy item to have in the game. So we're now going back down into the regular mines. We just wiped out the last lava crab there. That's going to get us 5,000 gold and a combat quarterly. Let's take a look at the relationship points. We almost have max hearts with Mateo. That means we'll be entering into chapter 2 of the Sword Sorcery mod. We're going to wipe out some skeletons, get some bog fragments, and try our best to complete the special orders quest for Gunther. We also pick up a couple of bone swords as well. We can sell those to Marna for 250 gold apiece. And we're also very close to maxing out our combat skill. So the next day we're going to hand in the bone fragments to Gunther. The reward for that is 3,500 gold. Not bad at all. We also get the kill counts up on the skellies too, so monster eradication goals become a lot easier. We finally get the Friendship 101. This book goes a long way for us. It just makes getting friendship points up with a lot of the NPCs much easier. We're also very close to getting a fish smoker as well because we don't have all of the jellies unlocked yet to make our own fish smoker. We're now going to visit Pierre and we are going to purchase an absolute ton of pumpkin seeds. The reason why we get so many is because pumpkins are more or less quite profitable. We also purchased one of every other crop Pierre had on offer as well, just to ensure we didn't miss out on any of the community centre bundles. We're going to scythe away all this wheat and the replacement is going to be pumpkins. We're also going to have other bits and bobs as well, but primarily just pumpkins. We get the bone mill recipe off Gunther. This is a very nice recipe indeed. It converts all different sorts of bone into fertilizers and speed grows. We finally got 10 out of 10 hearts with Mateo. This is going to unlock an incredible cutscene very soon, and it is going to unlock a huge game mechanic that we get to enjoy for the rest of the challenge. We also managed to get a duck feather from the travelling cart today. Now we're going to give that to Elliot because it's Elliot's birthday and he loves duck feathers. We're also going to pick up some bits and bobs down by the beach, visit Robin. I'm going to purchase the big chest recipe. That's needed for perfection, but the big chest is also an amazing item to have on the farm. We're then going to try to pull up Fall's legendary fish, the angler. This is probably the easiest legendary fish you can pull up in the game. We're going to visit Clint now, hand in another help wanted quest. That is another prize ticket in the bag. And now we have a very cool cutscene here with Mateo and Krobus. And what's lovely about this event is that Mateo and Krobus now share a common goal. They want a good relationship between humans and shadow folk. And hopefully, before this challenge is over, we'll get to see that. But now we have an additional surprise. Mateo offers Krobus a silver badge, lovingly forged in the shape of a shield. Krobus is very happy and excited to receive and says, Mateo, is this what I think it is? Krobus, do you swear under oath to bridge the gap between humans and monsters? and to do everything in your power to forge new traditions, values, and ideology for the Coastal Adventurers Guild? Krobus says he does. On behalf of Stardew Valley, Matteo officially inducts Krobus as the second Coastal Adventurers Guild member, and gets a lovely Krobus hug. Who doesn't want a Krobus hug? We then have a cool cutscene here with Linus rummaging through the trash up by the bathhouse area, but Linus gets teleported away. We don't know where he went, so we follow suit to see what's happening. Matteo will of course also tag along to make sure that we're safe. So we come across a very strange room here. We also meet a very strange NPC who opens up a dialogue of, "What are you doing here?" Linus says, "I don't know, I was just scavenging." "Oh yeah, is that so?" says the strange NPC. "I didn't expect someone else to be hanging out in the garbage at the railroad. Oops." Linus literally runs out of the place. I've never seen him move so fast in my life. We then get dialogue here saying, "It's great to finally meet you, GamerGar. My name is, Hector, and you're GamerGar. I've kept you quite busy this past year, haven't I? Listen, GamerGar, I'm going to need your help." Now, before Hector could go into great detail, he decides to just kick us out because his social battery is drained. And away we go. And that is the introduction to Chapter 2 of Sword and Sorcery, and what a character Hector is. We will get to learn all about Hector's backstory, and we also get to foster a great relationship with Hector over the next couple of weeks as well. We also just got a very cool Adventurers Guild badge there we can equip to our ring slot, and it does give us quite the potent stats. We also get to speak to Goatherd, a new NPC, and the first thing he wants to make clear is that the mountain belongs to him and the goats. But since old Gruff's okay with you, well, I reckon we should get along just fine, so that's Goatherd. We can also enter this cave, which happens to be Goatherd's house. So I ran around Goatherd's house to see if I could interact with anything, had a look at the minecart there to see if it took me somewhere, but it didn't. Now, long story short, I couldn't interact with anything inside this house at the moment, but that might change down the road. It was our time to complete the animal bundle, along with the fall foraging bundle, just to make some progression with the community centre. The sooner we have this centre complete, the sooner we can get over to Ginger Island and reap the rewards within. It's now time to take another special orders quest. There's lots of East Scarp quests here. There's one here called Go Nuts for Richie. Richie the macaw is feeling a bit sad and hazelnuts will cheer him up. So we need to go now, for Eloise's sake, and find a whopping 12 hazelnuts. And it's a lot harder than what it seems because hazelnuts aren't very common. They weren't common for me anyway. I then got a cutscene here with Jacob. He needed help to recapture all these chickens. They escaped from their coop. We're up in an area here called Mount Evermore. We don't actually have access to that region just yet. There's a big boulder blocking the way. But we managed to get up with Jacob. There was another quest here from Matteo the Guildmaster. We had a choice of 30 duggies or 20 stone golems. I decided to go with the 30 duggies because we had to kill duggies anyway for monster eradication goals. The stone golems don't count for anything. Now, Hector here loves a good fiddlehead fern. Thankfully, we had the botanist perk. We had iridium quality fiddlehead ferns we can give to Hector in order to get their relationship points up. Now, Hector also has a book here. It's basically a grimoire. The magical grimoire appreciates your company and floats behind you for the moment as you navigate the tower. Because we're in fall, that means lots of new fish to collect, so we just pulled up the albacore there, which is very important for the fishing collection. And as per usual, we're still processing our starfruits into starfruit wine. We made 156,000 gold today, primarily from selling starfruit wine with some other bits and bobs as well. Now you could argue, why didn't I convert my ancient fruit into an ancient fruit wine? It's just because I need to sell at least one ancient fruit for perfection. I made some mayonnaise machines today because I want to convert all of my eggs into mayonnaise just to make a little bit more money. We do have the artisan perk after all. It would be a shame not to use it properly. We're collecting more hazelnuts today. Now I went into the regular mines today with the sole reason of wiping out these red sludges. I had to kill I think a total of 8 of these to complete another help wanted quest. But I was hitting 2 birds with one stone because my combat skill was very close to getting maxed out. So I managed to max out combat today, which was absolutely amazing. All of our skills are now maxed. We can now head into the mastery tiers. The big question is though, what mastery tier will we go with for the first one? Level 10 combat, we're going to get brute, 15% more damage. Let's go and talk to Clint. Time to upgrade some tools. We have lots of money. We're going to chain upgrade the pickaxe all the way to iridium. It was now time for Matteo to show us the fruits of our labour. Matteo said Robin helped him build this underforge. when we went down to the Underforge, this new special ability unlocked inside us. What we just unlocked is the power of the Artificer. With this power, we can add new enchantments to our weapons. We can even craft armor that will give us more armor points. We can even craft bows and arrows. Different types of arrows do different things. There's a huge amount of things we can do with this skill. The best way to level up the skill is through mining and combat. We also unlock a new menu here, and we can use this menu to assign spells and abilities. Now, most of these spells and abilities are question marked at the moment because we haven't unlocked them. As we progress through Sword and Sorcery, we will meet new NPCs, and that will give us the potential to learn more powerful spells and abilities. For now, let's visit Hector in his tower and find out what's up with him. Now, Hector is a very unsocial NPC, but there's a good reason for that. As we gain relationship points with Hector, we will learn all about Hector's backstory, what happened in the past, what made Hector this way, and what we can do for Hector to improve their social standing going forward. We also get level 1 in the Artificer skill as well, and as we can see, we can craft cloth armor, we can craft a bow, we can craft arrows. It's just an amazing skill to have. The bow is very similar to the slingshot, except in my opinion, it's a lot more potent depending on what arrows you use with it. So we're going to go to the desert today. You'll also notice on the left hand side of my screen, we now have a little skill bar. On that skill bar, there's a book. That book is just kind of a guide in terms of how to navigate through the Sword and Sorcery content. I only primarily use it to look at what I need to activate the next event to push along the chapters. I also complete some more community center bundles today for the bulletin board. Once we're finished with the community center, we're going to visit Rosa from Josa, give her an Aramat. That completes another quest for the lovely Rosa. We also now have Rosa on max hearts, which is really nice. We now visit the Underforge, and as we can see, there's loads of different enchants we can apply to our weapon based on our Artificer level. Artificer 4, 6 and 2 give different things. Also, the higher we get our Artificer level, the more special items we can find if we're going through the mines or skull caverns. But we'll talk more about that as we actually get the higher level of Artificers later on. At the moment, all we can make is cloth armor, but as the levels go up, we can make better armor. And the better the armor, the more armor points we get. Basically, our character will almost become invincible, provided we have armor points. We just completed the Monster Slayer goal there for Duggies, but we still have to kill more Duggies in order to complete the quest that Matteo bestowed upon us. 15,000 gold for the quest completion, and this should be the last combat quarterly we're going to get because we now have combat maxed out. Going forward, we will get skill books that will help increase our Artificer skill. Let's take a look at the cloth armor. We need 10 pieces of cloth to make that, so I'm going to go straight down to Barnies now, purchase a ton of sheep, because at this moment in time I thought to myself, well, maybe to make the better pieces of armor we'll need even more cloth plus other materials, so it was no harm just to get a big bunch of sheep. So we are now going to get some heaters also, because it's just for winter. We want to make sure our animals are nice and cozy, and I'm going to purchase a second auto grabber as well, so now we have one for the coop and one for the barn. We're now going to get loads of sheep and call them after our GamerGar channel members, but first we're going to purchase one rabbit just for the sake of game completion. That rabbit will be Genevieve Dragon. Alarota will be our first sheep, followed by One Slick, Natasha B, Mars Matthews, Kara. We also got Dara Wiseman as well, followed by Enyanya, and last but certainly not least, we have Kimmy. We're then going to go to Clint and get our gold pickaxe. We're going to put that straight back into Clint for an iridium upgrade. This just means we can one-shot most of the nodes down in the Skull Cavern. We're going to give Mayor Lewis back his purple shards. It just means more friendship points with Mayor Lewis. Then we're going to talk to Addon here for the really cool event. Now, this event activated because we helped Rosa out so much with all of her cooking dishes. So it was just really nice to get some of the East Scarp NPCs chill out by the beach, and we learned Rosa's famous Spana Capita recipe. So that's needed for perfection, of course, because you have to cook all the recipes in the game to get it. Now, East Scarp does make perfection a little bit harder to get, but it'll be worth it in the end when you have all the completions done. Level 2 Artificer, we get +3 max health, but now Purified Ore has a chance of dropping from their respective nodes to be used at the Underforge. It just means if we're farming up copper ore, there's a chance purified copper ore can fall. Same applies with iron, gold and iridium, etc. If you've made it this far into the video, do me a favour and quack into the comments. Just type in quack, just for the fun of it. We now have the lovely Emperor on 3 hearts out of 10. I also got attacked by a crab. of all things in the middle of the East Scarp village. That took me by surprise, but 1 or 2 swings and we were able to defeat the crab no problem at all. We're now getting apples and pomegranates, so any sort of fears I had in terms of community centre completion were now nullified. We were sorted. I got my iridium pickaxe today. It's time to hand in the axe now. It's upgraded to a gold axe, and that will be further upgraded then to an iridium axe. We're picking up more hazelnuts. That was the last one we needed to complete the special orders quest for Richie the Macaw. So we're just going to visit Jacob's house, going to put these hazelnuts into the shipping bin there, and that is the quest for Richie done. That's 500 gold for us. Hector now is bringing us to a very secret area here. I think this is known as the Grove, and Hector basically wants to explain why they need our help. We also find out that Hector was, in fact, the wolf known as B. So Hector is basically a druid, and Hector can shapeshift into multiple different creatures, which is pretty cool. Hector can be a man, a woman, a wolf, and a huge array of different types of animals. So Hector just gets more interesting as time progresses. Hector quotes, "With a mighty claw, I drew a line down the scarp from far up north toward the sea. I tore the landmass in two, just because I felt like it, just because I could." Hector left this line empty, but over time, because it rains so much in the scarp, this new landmass Hector had created turned into a river, a very important river, and because of this river, the East Scarp thrived with new life. So Hector might come across as this, nasty evil NPC, but underneath all that bravado, Hector is a very kind and generous NPC. Hector walks back with you to the tower. When you're safely back in the deep mountains, he kicks you out. Then Hector says that was way too much shifting. I'm not even sure showing off like that was worthwhile or necessary. I think it mostly just scared Gar. We also learned that Hector's in a lot of pain, and as we progress through Hector's story, we find out where this pain is coming from and why Hector is like the way he is currently. We picked up the walleye today, so that's going to finish off the night fishing bundle, and that finishes the fish tank, so one less room to worry about when it comes to the community centre. We also need to make a mackerel roll and a fried egg, so I just purchased some rice there off Pierre. I had the seaweed and I had the fish, so it was now time to head back up to the community centre with the mackerel roll and the fried egg. So for the fodder bundle, I had the 3 apples ready to go. That was easy enough to complete. For the chef's bundle, I had the fried egg and I had the mackerel roll. And for the dye bundle, I had the duck feather. So that was the bulletin board fully complete. And the great thing about doing the bulletin board is that not only does it give a lot of friendship bonuses with the NPCs of Stardew Valley, it also gives huge friendship bonuses for the NPCs inside East Scarp. It was time to pick up another special orders quest. This one was called Feeding the Cat. Now normally I'd go with Biome Balance to get the farm computer, but I was going to prioritise the East Scarp quests just in case there was some important recipes I needed in terms of progressing along the Sword and Sorcery chapters. So I just needed to get some salmon there for that quest. In terms of the Guildmaster quests, we're going to go with 30 flies in exchange for 15,000 gold and a special skill book. That skill book will go towards the Artificer skill. It was now time for the Stardew Valley Fair, and I had a pretty good array of items. I was very surprised actually I didn't get first place for those. I got second place with a rating of 87, but in all fairness I had some pretty good items put in there. I had a prismatic shard, ancient fruit, but you know what? It didn't really matter because I gambled all my star tokens until I had enough to get the star drop, the rare crow, and of course the prized ticket. So I made sure I got everything the event had to offer before I headed out and continued on into the next day. We're now on the 17th of fall, and look at all these lovely pumpkins. 1 pumpkin will go towards the fall crops, and 5 gold star pumpkins will go towards the quality bundle. We're now going to purchase lots of beet seeds because I want to get into the casino to get the alien rare crow. We need that for perfection. We're also getting more help wanted quest complete as well. Now, in order to beat 30 flies, I figured that if I wounded the grubs a little bit with the pickaxe and waited for them to morph into regular flies, the quest would go a lot faster, and it did. Now, not all grubs would transform. Sometimes I would accidentally kill them with the pickaxe instead of getting them down to little health, but more times than not they would morph and I'd just one-shot them then with the sword. The Junimos are fixing up the greenhouse. The raccoon was living in the greenhouse, so we now get the raccoon side quest, hopefully in just a couple of days, once that big raccoon tree falls down and we get to fix it up with hardwood. We're now going to fill up this greenhouse with star fruit and ancient fruit. It's going to be a very nice combination of crops there. It's back to Robin, and this time we are going to build a big shed, and that shed will be filled up to the top with cakes. It was Marnie's birthday today, she gets a diamond. That's Marnie now on 7 out of 8 hearts, and because we talk to Marnie as well, we get more friendship points. We get another Star Drop tea out of Mayor Lewis's ticket machine today. We will use that Star Drop tea wisely. We'll more than likely give it to Hector just to get the friendship points up even more, to move the chapters along. We're going to buy some spaghetti today, primarily for Robin, and we're going to pick up lots of salads as well. We're now going to talk to Goatherd. We got a really funny scene here where he says, "Grr, look at this mess. Drafted human youths have no respect. No, Nanny Glutton, don't eat that." So Nanny Glutton is a goat that basically eats everything. Nanny Glutton reminds me of the goat I once had when I was really small. Our goat was called Gooshy, and Gooshy would eat basically anything that stumbled across our field. We got an important cutscene here with the book, and basically Book wants us to take Hector into town and get Hector back into the social scene, because Hector is cooked up in the tower all the time and he's not getting much of a social life, so we will absolutely try our best to introduce Hector to all of the Stardew Valley NPCs, and maybe Hector can really benefit from that social interaction. Once we filled up the greenhouse with starfruit, it was time to convert the other starfruit into starfruit wine. We're then going to go to Clint and we're going to get our iridium axe back off him. Now you might notice when we go to upgrade tools, we can get Stygium versions of the pickaxe and the regular axe. We can't access that ore right now. We have to make it to chapter 4 to get down into the deep dark cave, and then we can start getting the good stuff. For now, it's back into the regular mines and we're just killing more flies. We have to kill 30 of these in total. Thankfully, I did get a few infested floors and I managed to complete that quest no problem. Our artificer skill is currently on level 3, and what's nice about this skill is that every time we level it up, our maximum health also increases as well. So we brought Hector down into Jacob's place where Hector got to see all the animals, and Hector was very impressed by this. Hector loves animals, and Hector loves caring about the land and the animals within, so it was really nice to see the interaction between Hector and Jacob. Today we finally reached a new level of understanding. This means we can now choose an advanced perk. So with the first mastery skill unlocked, we had to make a tough decision as to what that skill would be. Now Elliot was also looking for the pumpkin. We obliged, of course, because we want more prize tickets. We also wanted more relationship points and money. Because we've been going to the mines so much, we actually had accumulated a lot of weapons that we didn't need. We had the Holy Blade, Burglar's Shank, Tempered Broadsword, Obsidian Edge and Iron Edge. We sold all those to Marlin because we were just using up valuable space in our chest back in the farm. We spoke to Gil as well, and because we had so many crabs beaten, we could get the powerful crab shell ring, gives a huge bonus to defense. With the repair coming up for the raccoon house and the repair coming up for the Ginger Island boat, we needed an absolute ton of hardwood. So I was going to come into the secret woods as much as I can to get all of the hardwood that respawns every day. Robin gets a spaghetti today. This pushed her right up to 8 hearts because it was her birthday, and because we got her up past 6 hearts, she teaches us the flute block and the drum block. The flute block will come in very handy for Ginger Island for the mermaid puzzle. We then get another cutscene here with Hector. He's inside Jacob's barn here, and he cleaned up the whole barn. He just wanted to say hi to the animals because he really misses them. Then Eloise comes in. She goes, "Oh hello, you must be the new friend Dad mentioned. I'm Eloise and you're Hector." Hector then gets really shy and he shapeshifts into the wolf to try to scare Eloise. "I am no friend, I am B. Hector, fiend of the forest, trickster unmatched." But Eloise is a fairly tough girl and she wasn't fazed by the fib. So because Eloise basically said to Hector that he couldn't be bad because her dad is a really good judge of character, Hector was stunned by this. Then Jacob came in, and Jacob looked around the barn and he noticed how clean the barn was, so he offered Hector the job. So Hector will now be at the vet's office 3 days a week, and she'll also start begrudgingly visiting festivals. Nice one. So we're going to give Jacob that hazelnut he wanted, another prize ticket for us. We actually have accumulated tons of prize tickets so far in this challenge because we've been prioritising all of the help wanted quests. We're also occasionally giving people salads if I don't have their loved gifts, just to get more friendship points up with that. We also visited Lexi for another melon. Lexi's now on 6 hearts out of 10, which is pretty cool. I decided that the first mastery tier we're going to do is the fishing mastery, so we can get those golden fishing chests, because there's a chance when we do grab a golden fishing chest, a star drop tea can be inside one. And star drop teas mean that we can start progressing the Sword and Sorcery chapters along a lot faster. I met a ton of magnet beds today because they dramatically increase the odds of a fishing treasure chests appearing. I also made 2 treasure hunter tackles, and because I have the advanced iridium rod, I can equip all those 3 items to the rod, dramatically increasing the chance of a treasure chest appearing. If I take a look at my skills, you'll notice I also have the pirate skill for the level 10 fishing, and this doubles the chance of finding treasure. So this is going to make getting gold treasure chests a walk in the park, and this is the tactic we're going to use to accelerate all of these Stardew Valley relationships. We're basically going to drown out the town with star drop teas. So I donated 100 pieces of hardwood here, and I fixed up the squirrel's house. So the squirrel will move in a couple of days. We also picked up the Woody's secret from cutting down lots of trees, and the Woody's secret will give us a small chance for trees to drop double the wood. This includes mahogany trees. So I managed to get my first star drop tea today from a golden fishing chest. It was absolutely amazing. We can use this tactic now to get an unlimited supply of chests. The fairy also visited us, and she is going to accelerate the growth of those sweet gem berries. We also visited Clint. We get back our gold hoe. Now we're going to hand in that hoe again straight away to upgrade that to an iridium hoe. We're then going to take a look at the community board. We're going to get the quest here called Help DaisyNiko Sanctuary. And basically, we just have to give Jacob there a couple of pieces of hay, and that will complete that quest, no problem at all. It's a very easy quest to do, provided you have hay. So we need 30 hay in total, and we have tons of hay to spare. We're then going to go down to the tide pool area here now. We're going to try to pull up more fish. Today, we had a fierce battle with a new nudie branch. This is the sunset nudie branch. And that's one less fish to worry about when it comes to getting all the fish from the scarp. This time we're going to take the 30 stone golems for the Coastal Adventures Guild quests, because we still don't have access to Ginger Island, but we will be getting access very soon. We got some money there for giving Jacob the hay he needed for the sanctuary, and now we're giving Hector some star drop teas along with some fiddlehead ferns. We got Hector straight up to 9 out of 10 hearts. Now, despite the fact that we got so many hearts up with Hector, we still have to wait a couple of days for the next event to kick in, and if there's any other special events on, that event will get pushed out even further. So we're basically bottlenecked by time when it comes to these events. We are going to collect all of the sweet gem berries today. We're going to talk to the raccoon. The raccoon is looking for 5 oysters and a smoked red mullet. That shouldn't be a problem at all. We're now going to go to the secret woods with our sweet gem berry, and we are going to get another star drop for our efforts. That's one more star drop in the bag. We're then going to spend the rest of the day wiping out stone golems. We're also going to give the statue here of solar essence, just so we can get into the casino. We're now going to talk to Clint to get back our iridium hoe. Thank you very much, Clint. But we're not finished there. The next tool now we're going to upgrade is the watering can. After that, we'll probably upgrade the pan. We're now going to plant some crab pots, because if we want to get all of the fishing collection done, we have to get all of the crab related fish pot items done as well. That's going to be the clam, you know, the shrimp, the lobster, etc. For the rest of the day, we're wiping out more stone golems. Now, the great thing about killing these golems is that we're still getting valuable XPs for mastery. Upon completion, we get 15,000 gold and a skill book that could potentially level up our artificer skill. And the higher that artificer skill, the better armors we can make. At the end of the day, we get level 4 artificer, plus 3 max health, and exquisite gems now have a chance of dropping for their respective nodes. That means if we were to pickaxe open a diamond, there's a chance an exquisite diamond could pop out. We now have enough cloth to make cloth armor. We're going to try and upgrade that straight into a copper armor, because we had pure copper ores. If we get pure iron ores, we can upgrade that into iron armor, and then to gold armor and iridium armor, and so on and so forth, as long as we have the corresponding pure ores to go with that. So we have the iridium shield and we have the copper armor at the moment, and we will continue to upgrade our armor as we get more materials. Now, we got Clint to break open a ton of mystery boxes today. I got an ancient seed in one of them, followed by the Book of Power, Book of Mysteries. This is an amazing Book of Power. It slightly increases the chance of finding mystery boxes out in the world of Stardew Valley. Because we had over 1,000 monsters defeated, we're going to pick up the mapping cave systems here. And this gives us a 50% discount from Marlin's item recovery service. Today, the crab pots are ripe for collection. We get lobsters, we get crabs, cockles, mussels, and oysters, all needed for the fishing collection, of course. I did a huge screw up today. Today was the 27th of fall, the Halloween event. I used a warp totem to the beach, I couldn't enter town to get back to my farm because the event was being set up. I didn't have any warp totems to get back to the farm or go anywhere else, and I didn't have my fishing rod. So I had to stay here for the whole day until the event activated. So if you're ever using warp totems, please note to check if there's an event happening, because if there is, you will not be able to get into the Stardew Valley village. You won't be able to get back to your farm. But we did go to the event later on. We picked up the rare crow and we picked up the golden pumpkin as well, along with some recipes. We spoke to Hector, and Hector said, it's really hard not to get excited about this with Mateo being all hyped up. It's good to see Hector and Mateo hanging out. I spoke to Mateo and he said, I'm not going to lie, this costume is a little on the itchy side and it's kind of tough to stay in character. And Louise had a really cool costume on, and her dad Jacob was rocking with the magician setup as well. So we went back to the raccoon today, and I had the oysters, and I also had the smoked mullet that the raccoon wanted as well. I managed to get a fish smoker through the prize ticket machine because I still don't have all of the jellies needed to make my own smoker. The next day, Mayor Lewis visited my farm and he said the governor is sending his wife and his son to the valley, and he wants me to make them feel welcome, so that's my job come winter. I then spoke to Rosa and we decided to investigate the Cherry Orchard farm to find out what happened to the people that lived here originally. Inside, I noticed some sort of a teleportation pad. I also noticed a Junimo that was popping in and out of the house. And Rosa noticed a Junimo as well. Rosa also noticed a hatch underneath the cupboard there. So we decided to move the cupboard together, and we did actually find the hatch, but it was rusted shut. So Rosa then advised me to come back later on with some oil and maybe some sort of a gift for our little friend, and that must be the Junimo she was referring to. It's going to be very interesting to see what is underneath that hatch. We're making really good progress with the Emperor, but I noticed that another bird has appeared. When I spoke to this bird, it says, she's ignoring you. Now I thought to myself, what if I gave this bird a grape? Your gift meets the Empress's approval. Oh, very nice indeed. I thought this was absolutely hilarious. I could then talk to the Empress and build up our relationship with yet another animal of East Scarp. I then dropped into Jacob's clinic and I met Hector, who was having a nice relaxing time keeping everything in order. But when I left, Hector said, what awful timing. My body's aching, I've got no energy to keep faking it today. That was really sad to see that, and I hope we can fix Hector's condition soon. It was now the first of winter. We meet new NPCs, Josephine and Oliver. Josephine is the governor's wife and Oliver is the governor's son. All I had on me right now were salads because I didn't really know what these NPCs loved. So I just played it safe because I think almost everybody at least likes salads. And my guess paid off. Oliver was impressed and so was Josephine, and we'll see a lot more of those down the road. I also clicked on the bush here just to get the magnifying glass off Krobus. With the magnifying glass, we can now find secret notes. We can get some nice things from those. Another help wanted quest. Clint, of course, wants to inspect gold ores this time. You never know what you're going to get with Clint. It was Krobus' birthday today. I gave him a rabbit's foot. I also gave Krobus a star drop tea, which dramatically increased our relationship with him right up to 9 out of 10 hearts. It was time to do some fishing as we were in winter, and we are going for the legendary winter fish, the hardest fish in the game in my opinion, the glacier fish, which we got on the first try, which is really nice. We then went back down to the swords and we fished up the mutant carp, which I totally forgot about. I suppose it's better late than never, right? I got a very interesting quest here called the Georgia Cola Takeover. Georgia are running a competition with a cash prize. All you've got to do is distribute one case, that's 48 cans plus 2 for luck, to unsuspecting villagers. Georgia Cola, fuel your life, oh yeah. And you can win 5,000 gold. So I decided to take on a Georgia quest because I love Georgia. Georgia for life. I had to gift 50 Georgia Colas to the unfortunate NPCs of Stardew Valley. I know most of them won't appreciate Georgia Colas, but I thought myself maybe because this quest activated it might be a bit different. I then came across 2 new NPCs, one by the name of Dandelion. I'm pretty sure Dandelion is a paladin, and Roslyn. I'm pretty sure Roslyn is a mage, but I could be wrong. I haven't got that far into the chapters just yet. But basically, they're very worried for the safety of the citizens living in Stardew Valley, and they might call upon me if they cannot defeat the threats lurking within the darkness. Now, I ran around Stardew Valley with these Georgia Colas, and I mean, this quest was really hurting my progression because every time I gave someone a Georgia Cola, I was losing the valuable friendship points with them. So I decided after a while to just stop giving people Georgia Colas. But it was funny, I suppose, looking at some of the reactions, you know. Even Gus said it's absolute junk. There was one person who appreciated the Georgia Cola out of everyone else. And can you guess who that person was? It wasn't Haley, of course. It was Sam. Sam, the man, he really liked it. But Sam was the only person that liked it. Everybody else absolutely hated it. Now, I got my steel watering can off Clint. Now, I'm on very good terms with Clint. Lots of tool upgrades. Clint has made a lot of business from me. Gold upgrade. Here we go for the watering can. I tried Clint with a Georgia Cola, and it says this makes me depressed. Brilliant. So I went down to the community centre. It was time to finally finish the last bundle, the winter foraging bundle. And this was the community centre complete. 30 winter foraging seeds ready to be planted in the farm. Now, because we had completed this portion of the community centre, we could now get access to the quarry, and we could fix up the boat and gain access to Ginger Island. It was also Linus's birthday, gave him an iridium quality cactus fruit. That was Linus maxed out. The community centre was complete and everybody rejoiced. Except Morris, of course. Now, I do feel bad for Morris because in all fairness, he does employ quite a number of people. But it's now back to fishing. We got the link cod today. That was needed for the fishing collection. I also pulled up a good few squid. After today's event, a lot of things with Hector started to make sense to me. So basically, what we see here is a polluted river, and Hector needs our help to firstly get rid of all the pollution, and secondly prevent any more pollution from falling into this river. Now, Hector can't do this alone. Hector needs a second set of hands. So we're now going to get a lot of supplies Hector needs, so Hector can do some awesome magic and fix this whole problem. Prismatic shard, 5 ripe pieces of ancient fruit, 3 distinctly orange nautilus shells, 10 of the most fiddle-headed ferns, and 3 vials of squid ink from Squid Kids. Now, despite the fact that it might say, you know, the most fiddle-headed ferns, they're just regular fiddlehead ferns. It's just to kind of make the quest a bit more snazzy. I had all of the items except for the 5 ripe pieces of ancient fruit. Now, I did have a greenhouse with some ancient fruit seeds inside, but they haven't come to fruition just yet. But I will have those in a couple of days. I did visit the quarry, and I did get the gold inside, just to have it. I then decided to make myself a bow. Now, I should have made this ages ago. It's absolutely amazing. I made some regular arrows. I didn't want to use resources to make, you know, the more magical arrows just yet, but we will try out the more potent arrows maybe in the next challenge. Now, the bow and arrow is actually quite good. It can shoot through debris, which makes it a really nice item to have. Very good for sniping enemies a mile off. Now, these are haunted skulls. They have a lot of HP, they hit quite hard, but I was able to beat this one with the bow no problem at all. I now had enough resources to make the iron armor, so we're going to equip that straight away. Now, I need pure gold ores if I want to make the gold armor. That just means either going to Skull Caverns or going to the bottom levels of the regular mines and farming up gold nodes. I was able to get all of the ancient fruit needed today to finish off Hector's side quest. I'm also going to visit Robin as well. It's time to upgrade our house. 65,000 gold and 100 pieces of hardwood. So we need to upgrade the house to sort out the missing bundles because we need at least 1 silver star wine. Once I donated the ancient fruit, I had to wait for the next event to activate. So in the meantime, we're going to go into Skull Caverns and we're going to lay waste to the enemies within. We're also going to get lots of different variants of pure ores and exquisite gems. We finally got level 5 Artificer. We have a choice here between the Specialist and the Roguish archetype. We can always respec in the future, but for now we're going to take the Specialist. Once per hour, you get a chance to recover armor points by changing location. That's going to come in fierce handy for Skull Cavern runs because you're always changing locations by going through the mine levels. It was Victoria's birthday. Gave her the rabbit's foot, got a lot of friendship points with her there. I also gave her the Star Drop tea, and that put her right up the 10 out of 10 hearts, which was pretty cool. Victoria is a very interesting NPC, and I'll show you a cutscene very soon of how interesting she is. For the next mastery, we're going to go with combat so we can get some trinkets. We also got a new baby lizard to the farm. We're going to name this after our latest channel member, Marshall. For the rest of the day, we are cutting down mahogany trees to amass hardwood so we can fix up the boat to Ginger Island. We get our gold watering can off Clint today. That's going to go straight back in for an iridium watering can upgrade. We're then going to go to the boat. We need 5 iridium bars for the anchor, 5 battery packs for the ticket machine, and a whopping 200 pieces of hardwood for the hull, but those resources are going to greatly pay off. It was Caroline's birthday today. She also gets a rabbit's foot. Accumulating more rabbits in the future is something we might do because Iridium Star quality rabbit's feet are unmatched by anything else except Star Drop Teas, of course. Hector wasn't impressed by today's event. Hector says it's stupid and she hates it because it's just excess fishing. The mayor is going to get a snowball to the face. I would love to see that. I would love to see Mayor Lewis get a snowball to the face. Go Hector. I got 6 big slimy fish and won the event. I'm going to get my iridium watering can off Clint. We're now going to get Clint to process an absolute ton of geodes in the hopes to make more progress with the museum collections. Once Clint is finished with the processing, we're going to start upgrading our pan. We start with the copper pan, so we're going to upgrade that now to a steel, and that will go all the way to an iridium pan to finish off our primary tools. So I managed to donate a few more pieces to the library today, and now we have a cool cutscene here of Victoria as she's showing off her slime hutch. It's the coolest slime hutch I've ever seen, and she wanted to introduce us to a very special slime here by the name of Happy. And the point Victoria was trying to make is that slimes can be domesticated, you can befriend slimes, they're not all super acidic, they're not all out to get you and to eat you. It was now time for the cool event with Hector himself. Now, Hector was very impressed with all of the resources that we gathered in order to fix up the polluted river. Hector was now going to do some cool looking magic here and give us a very powerful boon. It was the wizard event all over again, but this time something was different. Our forest magic has been deeply enhanced. You can now collect druidic essences on your farm. And this means if we're hoeing up the ground or if we're collecting crops, etc., there's a chance that we can get these druidic essences. Now I had to go collect 100 essences. So the first thing I did was grab my iridium hoe and I started hoeing up the farm, and thankfully these essences started to pop out. Now I had to get 100 of these, so I spent the whole day running around the farm with the hoe, just hoeing up these essences. It didn't take me too long because I had an iridium hoe, which was nice. The next day I popped all the essences into the chest. I also made 51 more kegs and I put these inside my big shed so we can turn even more starfruit into starfruit wine. It just means bigger profits for us. I went to Robin, I upgraded the house one last time. This will give us access to the cellar so we can start aging up our wine. It was Sebastian's birthday today and our good friend Sebastian gets a rabbit's foot. Lots of friendship points there with good old Sebastian. I went into the mutant bug lair and I picked up the dark talisman. That's needed to gain access to the wizard's terminal if we want to get some of the endgame items later on. We spoke to the henchman here, gave the henchman a void mayonnaise, we got into the witch's hut and we picked up the magical ink. With this, we can now teleport off to the wizard. Hector now is going to do some awesome magic and fix up the pollution by the river. With the pollution gone and a big boulder in place, the river can't be polluted anymore, which is pretty cool. And that was the big main quest now done with Hector. The river is clear, the air tastes good, and the flora is thriving. Things should finally start feeling good again. I had a choice here to flirt with Hector a little bit. I didn't decide to flirt with Matteo, but I'm definitely going to flirt with Hector. Who doesn't want cool druid babies? I know, gosh, stop pressing. I'm going to start thinking you like me or something gross. Wait, are you serious? Course, Hector, I want druid babies. If you've made it this far into the video, just for the laughs, why don't you put druid babies into the comments and let's see how many druid babies we can get. We're going to talk to Clint now today. We get back our steel pan. That's going to go straight back into Clint now for the gold pan upgrade, and eventually it'll go back in for an iridium pan upgrade. We're now going to go back to the mutant bug lair. We're going to fish up the slime jack, and then we're going to visit the witches area and we're going to fish up the void salmon. Let's take a look at the special orders quest. So we had the Robin's resource rush and the juicy bugs wanted. We're going to select Robin's resource rush because she will actually teach us a recipe to create a stone chest, and we need that for perfection. It really doesn't give anything towards perfection. For the rest of the evening, we're going to try to complete the resource rush by cutting down all of the trees on our farm and through Cindersap Forest. So I met at Rain using a rain totem. This will unlock the missing bundle. Today we had the squid fest, so we're going to fish up 8 squid. We're then going to talk to the special squid vendor and we're going to get some really nice items, including a new book of power. Now this book of power is called The Art of Crabbing. Crab pots have a 25% chance to give double the loot. This greatly enhances the crab pot's ability. Josephine, the mayor's wife, was also looking for a squid, so we're going to give that over to get some extra friendship points with Josephine, no problem at all. We're now going to purchase a Book of Stars for 15,000 gold. Normally I would activate this for the XP, but I have a plan to complete the missing bundle. Though we're going to get the rest of the Books of Power as well, just for the collection, including the prize catalogue. We're now going to trade in books, and that Book of Stars I purchased, I'm going to trade it in for 8 fairy dust. I can use the fairy dust to basically speed up the process of an aged wine. I also get the stone chest recipe off Robin, and we pick up the dinosaur mayonnaise here as well, because we now have a lizard on the farm, and every week we get a dinosaur egg. We're now going to get one of our ancient fruit wines, pop that into a cask, use a fairy dust and pickaxe the wine back out to get a silver star ancient fruit wine. And that is the missing bundle more or less sorted. We're now going to go to Clint and we are going to get a gold pan. We're going to hand that straight back into Clint for an iridium pan upgrade. Because we have so much money, it only makes sense to just chain upgrade all of our tools. We're going to go into the abandoned Georgia Mart. We have the void salmon, we have the dinosaur mayonnaise, the prismatic shard, the 5 gold star ancient fruit, and the silver star ancient fruit wine. That is the missing bundle complete. This will unlock the theatre, and the theatre is a great place to get bonus friendship points with the Stardew Valley NPCs. We're now going to take the boat over to Ginger Island, and we are going to run around now today, collect as many golden walnuts as we can, and we're going to get the house fixed up to get access to the Ginger Island farm. What's very interesting about the East Scarp is that there's a farm you can get access to on East Scarp. Now we don't get access to that farm in this challenge, but maybe if we do a second playthrough we might get access. Now if you want to see a continuation of this challenge, please like this video and let me know in the comments. We picked up the blue discus today, that's needed for the fishing collection. With the Ginger Island house restored, we can now make a big huge starfruit farm on Ginger Island. Junimos are going to convert this Georgia Mart into a theatre, and now it's finally time to find out what's going on with Hector. Why is Hector in so much pain, and what can we do to sort that out? So we tried to press Hector even further, and Hector turns into the wolf here and says, I don't need any more help, stay away from me. We gave Hector a nice hug, and Hector said, I said leave me alone, don't touch me, cut it out, I'll bite you. That's a lie, I would never. See, Hector's just a sweetheart, true and true. We even got some good backup from Eloise as well, because Eloise gets on really well with Hector, and Hector said that he's in a really bad way, and Eloise said it's okay, we're here for you. And Eloise recommended Hector to maybe go see Jacob, and maybe Jacob can do something for Hector to get Hector all better again. So the big reason Hector is feeling this way is because when the river got polluted, so did Hector, and by cleaning up the river, Hector thought that the pain might go away, but it's not going away as quickly as Hector would like. So we're now going to try our best to ensure that Hector gets healthy again, and in time, hopefully, feels no more pain. We went back to Ginger Island and we explored the volcano today. We got lots of golden walnuts, and we even enchanted our galaxy sword when we got the Crusader enchant. This is going to make killing mummies a piece of cake. We freed Professor Snail, unlocking his archaeology side quest, which will allow us to get more golden walnuts. We got level 7 Artificer. We can now make gold armor, provided we have the mats. It's been a while since we went into our lovely bat cave. Lots of forageables to get. We're now going to convert all of our ancient fruit back into ancient fruit seeds to fill up the greenhouse with more ancient fruit. This is going to be a great money maker in the next couple of in-game weeks. We got over 20 ancient seeds today, which was absolutely amazing. We're now going to visit Clint and we finally get back our iridium pan. That is all of our primary tools fully upgraded now to iridium. There was a quest here from Beatrice, quartz needed. She wanted us to go out and collect 12 pieces of quartz, refine those into refined quartz, and then deliver the refined quartz to the lighthouse. This was needed to ensure that the lighthouse remained fully functional. It was Goatherd's birthday today. Give him a rabbit's foot, he was very happy about that. He says you better watch out for avalanches. Excellent advice, thank you very much. It was also time for the night market, so we're going to purchase the paintings here from the famous painter Lupini. We're also going to pull up the midnight squid, the blobfish and the spookfish, just to get those fish ticked off the list for the fishing collection. We had some pure gold ore, so it was time to upgrade our armor to gold armor. And this is going to give us even more armor points. So we now had the gold armor and we had the iridium shield. Eventually we'll be able to get radioactive stuff once we get into Key's secret walnut room. It was time to go and collect some quartz, so we needed 12 quartz in total. Thankfully, it didn't take me too much rummaging around to get all of the quartz I needed. Before I knew it, I had the quest complete. I was also getting valuable monster eradication goals done, especially for the slimes. We had to kill 1,000 slimes to get that quest over the line, so if we saw the green slimes, we whack them straight away. Once I collected the 12 quartz, I refined them straight away, and before I head over to the lighthouse, I'm just going to run into the shed here, and I'm going to grab all of this lovely starfruit wine. Now, because it was winter, we picked up the cerulean nudie branch, and that's the 4th nudie branch now collected, and I'm pretty sure that's all of the nudie branches you can get. So I donated the refined quartz now to the lighthouse, 6,000 gold as a reward. That was very nice. We then get a very nice cutscene here with Mateo and Hector. Mateo was trying to break into Hector's house to surprise him with an Adventurers Guild badge. Hector, do you swear under oath to watch over the deep mountains and to do everything in your power to focus on your health, take care of your friends and family? Hector says, fine, I do. Then on behalf of Stardew Valley, I officially induct you as the 3rd Coastal Adventurers Guild member. So now we had Krobus, we had Hector, and we had myself. I had enough prize tickets I accumulated to get a magic rock candy, the most powerful buff food in the game, followed by another star drop tea and a pirate's treasure to sum it all off. I sold more starfruit wine today. I made 302,000 gold, so we got lots of money now at the moment. Went down to the mines to do some fishing. I managed to get the ice pip today, which was lucky, and then I went out to floor 100 and I managed to pull up a lava eel, which we also needed for the fishing collection as well. I finally got my first sea jelly over on Ginger Island. I was trying to pull up a lionfish. Now, these mussel nodes can give you up to 5 golden walnuts, but it's quite rare to get one from these nodes. So when it comes to getting all of the golden walnuts the game has to offer, the mussel nodes normally act as the bottleneck. We got another Jack be Nimble, Jack be Thick, and we also fished up a lionfish as well for the fishing collection. I managed to get a snake skull as well from the beach, and it's now very easy to get snake vertebrae. You just have to pickaxe open all of the stone here around your farm, and more common than not, you should see 1 or 2 snake vertebrae. Before, it was very hard to get those. Because of all the journal scraps I've been getting, I managed to get some other secret walnuts as well along with the pearl. So I had enough artifacts now in order to get some golden walnuts from Professor Snail. I was committed to completing this archaeology side quest as quickly as possible. I totally forgot about the golden walnuts just north of the cave that Professor Snail was trapped inside, so I managed to get 4 more golden walnuts up here, which is really nice. I now had assembled enough golden walnuts to fix up the beach area. This gives me access to the east side of Ginger Island. Inside the star-shaped pond, we can pull up another golden walnut, and just to the right of this pond we can hoe up another sneaky golden walnut as well. Now, the pirates were on shore today. Now, it was 140, almost 150, so I had to get to this pirate very quickly and play the mini game, which is darts. Thankfully, time doesn't go by when you play the darts game, so I could get in 3 dart games all together and get 3 golden walnuts before my character passed out, and that was very lucky indeed. Now, we weren't finished with the Pirates Cove just yet. I panned up the fossilized tail today. That's needed for the archaeology side quest. I was now on a mission to find as many golden coconuts as I could, because we needed to get Clint to break those open to get more golden walnuts and stuff needed for Professor Snail's quest. I gave in the raccoon a dried purple mushroom, and I also gave in some algae, and I got the raccoon hat. It was then time for a real cool scene here with Hector. Hector is going to show us the heart of this scarp, and this place is what Hector protects. And because Hector doesn't have a whole lot of faith in humans, nobody knows about this place except Hector. Hector said the last time he brought humans here, his blood was spilled because the humans panicked. They didn't know what Hector truly was, and they shot arrows at him. But Hector didn't take that personally. Hector knew the humans were just afraid because they didn't understand. Now, because we had built up such a great relationship with Hector, Hector trusts us enough to show us this place. In the center of the place was this huge ancient tree, and this tree has a lot of magic. And here we are going to learn a marvelous skill, and it really changes the way we're going to play the game going forward. So we are going to learn the most advanced level of Druidic's magic. We also learned Hector's true name, which is Biro. I thought it was Byrog, but eventually I get a cutscene where people say that his name rhymes with hero, so I figured it must be Biro. But if any of the developers are watching, please correct me in the comments. So Biro here says names have power. He wasn't sure if he could lend that name out to me from the start, but now I know Hector's true name, which is Biro. And I also get an opportunity here to start a proper relationship with Hector, but first, Biro is going to empower me with some ancient druidic magic, and this is a new skill now that we can level up, and the more level ups we get in this skill, the more forms we get to take on. That's right, we can now transform our character into a buck or a doe, and once we transform, our movement speed is increased, and we also get some extra foraging skills as well. It's just really cool. We now jump into the ancient tree with Biro, and we get a really cool view here, but more importantly, we get a very important option. We can decide, the same way that we decided with Matteo, to have a regular relationship, or if we wanted a romantic relationship. So I selected as a partner to be romantic because I really want the ability to have babies with this NPC. Wouldn't it be so cool if you had special druid babies and they could transform into little baby wolves? So if the developers are watching, please incorporate that into the video if you haven't done so already. We want baby druids that can transform into baby wolves. So we now have level 1 druidics, and I didn't understand what most of these things mean at the start, but getting access to ancient seeds sounded really cool. And as we progress through the rest of the challenge, we will learn more about the druidic skills. Because I had access to a new location, I also had access to new fish, so we put up a new fish there, some sort of a fasty luptican or something it's called, but I also put up another fish called a palid sailfin. And these new zones that we couldn't access before are now easily accessible through that very convenient warp portal. So that warp portal, just to the north of Biro's place, brings us to this other new location, and we can fish there as well for stuff. I also visited Beatrice, and because we completed her quest for the quartz, she wanted to show us the top of the lighthouse, and the view at the top is really cool. We also learn a lot about Beatrice's past, and that how she used to come up here with Raoul, and when Raoul passed away, she used to come up here even more, and in the hopes that she might see Raoul's spirit maybe coming across the ocean. It was really sad, but the view was really cool, and it was a really nice cutscene, a nice heartfelt cutscene. I decided to take B-Rogue to the cinema, just to see if I could get more friendship points with B-Rogue, and we saw the miracle at Cold Star Ranch. B-Rogue thought it was pretty sweet, and she had a really good time. Now our house was fully upgraded. We had B-Rogue's hearts maxed out. The next step was to go and purchase a mermaid pendant. All I had to do was activate a rain totem, head on up here to the merchant, pay 5,000 gold, get a mermaid pendant, and ask B-Rogue to marry us in the hopes that we could have druid babies. Now I picked up a quest here from Addon, and she wanted me to go and get an absolute ton of crocuses, 15 in total, and that was actually quite difficult because we only had 1 week left before we got into spring year 2. I gave Biro the mermaid pendant. I got dialogue here saying, "You haven't been dating very long, wait a while." I mean, how long do you want me to wait? I really hope I can marry this NPC, and I really hope I can get druid babies. I know I've said it enough now, but please let it be so. Anyway, I went to Sandy, I got a full batch of starfruit seeds. They're going to go down on Ginger Island, and I got a full batch of rhubarb seeds as well, and they will go down in a regular farm come spring. Level 2 druidics. Now that max either is basically mana, to put it to you simply, and every time we use a skill we will lose mana. As we can see, my Ginger Island farm is coming on quite well. I'm getting more fiddlehead ferns today too, and these are iridium quality fiddlehead ferns. Now I have Biro maxed out, so there isn't much point giving that NPC any more gifts. I also sorted out the mermaid puzzle using the flute blocks. I got 5 more golden walnuts for doing this, which was nice. Went back into the Pirate's Cove, I hoed up another golden walnut, and while I was here I decided to fish up the stingray also, which is needed for the fishing collection. I finally figured out how to use the skills from the Adventurer's book. I can assign these skills to either Control 1 or Shift 1, Control 2, Shift 2, etc. And as we can see, I just turned into a buck there, and I can also turn into a doe. And despite the fact that I've turned into these creatures, I can still run around the place, I can interact with people, I can toggle through my items. I just thought it was really cool. Now as I shapeshift into these creatures, as you can see there, my Aether is slowly going down. It's 13 out of 40 at the moment there, on the left hand side of the bar. But I just thought it was a really cool skill to have. So here's a new cutscene here of me, Matteo, and Biro all hanging out at the saloon, and we've come across a new NPC, and this NPC, her name is Cirrus, and apparently she's quite the famous singer. Now, she got swarmed by other NPCs, and we told them to scram, so we kind of saved her. We told her if she was alright, and we told her if she was expecting company. Cirrus says she was expecting company, but it turns out that the company doesn't actually turn up, so we end up walking Cirrus home. We learn a little bit more about Cirrus. Cirrus is going to be the Chapter 3 NPC. I decided to have a chat with Book today after getting rejected again at marriage. Book is incredibly happy to see you. She flies happily around you in circles for a moment before going back to her task. So it's good to see that Book's doing well. I managed to finish the Crocus quest, got 2000 gold there off 18 for that. Now I have 18 maxed out right now. The only way I can get 18 to 10 hearts would be to give her a bouquet, and that's not going to happen because we are 100% committed to Biro, the ancient druid. It's going to happen. I had a quest to kill 30 green slimes, so we did that today. 15,000 gold there from the Guildmaster Matteo. I'm now going to harvest a lot more ancient fruit today, and all of these ancient fruit, like the last batch, will be put into seed makers. And I did quite well today. The last time I got 20. This time we're going to get more than 20. We're going to get a total of 23. That's going to go straight back into the greenhouse. Level 3 druidics. And as we can see there, we get more mana, wild fairy rose seeds. All these wild seeds, I haven't tried them out yet, but come spring, it's going to be very interesting to see what these wild seeds have to offer. We made lots of gold from the wine. Cirrus didn't really know what to bring to the event today, so she packed and made 30 peanut butter and banana sandwiches. I got Emily for the gift giver. I gave her a rabbit's foot. Evelyn was my secret gift giver. Guess what she gave me? You guessed right. A cookie. If only the Grinch was here. You know what, in all fairness, I've gotten worse. Thank you very much, Evelyn. You're a star. Cirrus had this really cool van. When I went inside, I could talk to Cirrus. I could also give her gifts. Now, Cirrus is more than likely going to work the exact same way as Matteo and Biro, where we need to get her friendship up. Then we have to wait every couple of days for an event to activate. So I gave her the rabbit's foot along with a star drop tea. Got her straight up to 2 hearts out of 10 there. So we're going to try to get Cirrus up to max hearts as quickly as possible. I also solved the mineral puzzle over on Ginger Island, so I got more walnuts for that. And I also had a garlic, a melon and wheat grown on the Ginger Island farm. So the frog is going to give me 5 golden walnuts for each one. That's 15 golden walnuts in total. I now had enough golden walnuts to repair the warp obelisk over on the Ginger Island farm. An added bonus to repairing this obelisk is that you get back a warp totem. That will bring you directly to Ginger Island, so it's a really nice item to get for the first repair you do there. Because I had some spare golden walnuts, I also got the nice parts to repair the bridge going into the volcano. And because I had more than 10 diamonds, I went to the dwarf on floor 5 and I picked up the Diamond Hunter Book of Power. This is an absolutely amazing Book of Power. This will give you a chance when you mine a node, not detonate one but mine one, any node in the game, a diamond could pop out. So it's a very nice book to have. Level 8, Artificer. We can now make iridium armor and ricochet arrows. Now we don't explore the arrows too much on this challenge, but if I do end up making a year 2, I will absolutely delve into all the different arrow types and see how potent, how useful they can be. So we're back in Skull Cavern today, and I find that Skull Cavern is the best place to go if you want to get mastery levels because of the sheer amount of XP you get from killing enemies and blowing open iridium nodes. I got lots of prismatic shards today, and I also got a parrot egg. It was a level 4 parrot egg. I was over the moon with this. We're going to make so much money going forward by killing enemies with this level 4 parrot. Level 4 parrot is the highest level parrot you can get, so it just means that when you kill an enemy, there's a very good chance that enemy will drop money. And like these enemies can drop 250 gold, 500 gold. You can make hundreds of thousands of gold every single day by wiping out enemies with level 4 parrot. Because we made it down to floor 100, we picked up the iridium snake milk. It increases our health by 25. We also get level 9 artificer, and as you can see there, we can make a huge amount of different armors, radioactive, stygium and lithium, and we can also make the lightbringer arrow as well. We had a chat with Cirrus today. She was inside the grove area here, and she was just singing away. I decided to stay and listen to her singing because she's a really good singer. And in the background, Biro was also listening to her along with the book. So it was just a really nice scene there of watching Cirrus play her musical instrument and sing. And Biro had a great time too listening with the book. So that's just another cutscene there with Cirrus. It was now the time to hand in a rabbit's foot to the truck driver here to get back the special charm. This will permanently increase our luck. And let's take a quick look at our wallet now. As we can see, it's almost filled up to the top. We're just missing a few books of power, a few mastery levels, and a few other bits and bobs. It was time to select another mastery. I decided to go with Mining Mastery. Gem bearing rocks now grant twice the gems, and Statue of the Dwarf King will come in very handy too because we're going to the mines so much. And that is the challenge finished for year 1 anyway. If you want year 2, let me know in the comments. We almost made 3 million gold in the first year. That wasn't too bad considering it wasn't, you know, a money run. We have good rings, we've got good skills, and we got good friends. The Sword and Sorcery mod is absolutely amazing. I can't recommend it highly enough. There was an absolute ton of cutscenes I did not implement in this video because there was just so many. So, you know, I did my best to incorporate what I thought were the critical cutscenes. The cutscenes we needed to watch to understand the main stories of the Sword and Sorcery mod and some of the stories of East Scarp as well. It's going to be very interesting to see now what we can achieve in year 2. And this is the Sword and Sorcery guide, and this is what I used, you know, to understand where I had to go to activate the cutscenes to progress through the chapters. I'm on the Under Pressure, chapter 3 at the moment with Cirrus. When we get to chapter 4, that's going to unlock the Deep Dark Cave. So for now, thanks a million for watching, for making it this far. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, hit that subscribe button and like the video. It really helps me out. Thanks again for watching this absolutely amazing challenge, this amazing mod, and I hope to see you very soon. Bye for now.